Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another AFR broadcast. This time we are coming to you with round 12 of the AFR Tier 1 Championship here at the Hungarian in Hungary. Alright, as usual, I am Kunai Zero, and with me tonight is Psycho.
Good evening.
Alright, so let's start off while we're waiting for the drivers to ready up. Let's go just kick off with last week's result. Obviously last week we were at Hockenheim. So in Tier 1 Revo took the win as per usual these days, and he gets himself 25 points. It was Mikau that came in second and Potsi that ended up coming in third, with Seb finishing in fourth. So as it stands now with the points, Revo is ahead with 227 of them, Seb behind with 170, so quite a massive gap between those two drivers. Mikau on 152 in third and Potsi on 126 in fourth. So with those three, there's still a lot to play for, as we still have just under half the races left to go in the season. So Psycho, as a snapshot, what are you thinking about the championship so far? Do you have any comments?
Yeah, so at the moment, like you just said, between Seb, Mikau and Potsi, all three of those guys have been performing really well. I know Seb had a bit of a mishap in Silverstone, which is unfortunate, but apart from that, those guys have been very, very, very consistent, and I'd really like to see them give Revo a good go.
Yeah, I've been making a joke. Well, not really a joke. It's actually it's a real agreement, which was I told Mikau, but this extends to anybody on the grid, is that if they could legitimately out-qualify Revo, I'd send them $50. And Mikau's like, yeah, righto, I'll take that bet. But just so far, nobody's been able to outpace him.
That is it's a very tough challenge, and I can see why you set the bar so high, because the challenge is at that level. Revo's pace is just unbelievable, especially in qualifying. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. But that's, again, as I keep repeating like a friggin' parrot, that's what happens when you put the time in. If you put the time in, you get rewarded for it. So hopefully we'll see if within the next, the next 9 rounds, 21 rounds in a championship? Yeah. In the next 9 rounds, hopefully someone can bring it to him. The poorest result Revo has had so far, discarding a retirement, which happened in Baku, was at Silverstone, and that was actually due to a penalty. He ended up dropping all the way down to 5th due to that penalty, so after everything was corrected. Otherwise, it's been from start to now, first, retirement, first, second, first, 5th, first. So I mean, that's a pretty good rap sheet. That's a good resume there.
No, absolutely. He's definitely kept on top of the championship. Even if you look at the constructors, as a result of his positioning, Renault have just run away with it.
Yeah. I don't actually have the Constructors' Championship in front of me right now, but they would have. It's nuts. Because Band has been scoring points for them as well, admittedly down at the lower end of the points grid, but still. So 328. Sorry, no, I'm looking at the wrong. 290. 290 is the correct now. So Renault with 290, Red Bull with 197. They're almost 100 points in front of the next constructor.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
That is actually ridiculous. But again, power to them. Inversely, speaking of Revo, there's Bandcamp, who did not have a great Silverstone. He ended up getting knocked quite badly. But I think there was a little bit of an incident between himself and Combine. He got shot all the way down the back. I think pretty sure his Germany standing was a lot better. He ended up finishing 5th, I think. Yeah,
5th, yep.
So he did a pretty solid job there, which was awesome. Good to see. But it's a stark contrast between Hockenheim and the Hungaroring. So the Hungaroring has been, some people like it, some people hate it. I personally like it. I think it's fantastic. I love the Sector 2 complex. It's been considered the go-kart track of Formula 1. because of its layout, because of its so many banking corners. There's 2 straights. Oh, technically 3, but one has a kink in it. It's more of an Austria straight than it is a straight. But anyway, which requires a lot more downforce, obviously. So this track tends to go up on the higher end of the downforce spectrum, so you get much more speed, especially through turn 4, and that's going to be a killer for a lot of people. So this will be one to watch. How long away are these drivers, man? They kill me because I'm never prepared to talk for this long.
Yeah.
Hold on. Have you selected spectator in the... Yes, you have. Okay, no, that's fine. And we're just waiting on Wahid. Okay, cool. So we've got an update there.
Cool. All right. Yeah, no, I'm all ready. I've never actually heard of the Hungarian being called the go-kart track yet, but I do definitely see why. It does have a lot of similarities.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely lends itself to that type of racing, and just doing practice this week on it, I found that it is exceptionally difficult to overtake. So qualifying is going to be very, very important, because the only real safe place to overtake is either on one of the 2 straights that aren't that long, or probably around the first corner if you're daring enough.
Yeah, so there's a rule, which I'm going to make up right now, which is never ever assume that drivers will take the sensible option. So you're right, the Hungarian is quite difficult to overtake on. Track position is everything, but then again, that is pretty much on every. You could say that about any track. But the sensible place would be the main straight, possibly coming out of turn 11. If there is a decent amount of stretch there, and if you can get a much better exit than your opponent, then there's a good chance you could probably dive into the inside of turn 12. But I wouldn't be surprised if people try to make a move on the outside of turn 5 or on the inside of turn 2.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Because you can get a lot of speed, especially if you screw up your braking marker in turn 1. Because the inside of turn 1 is just too... It's just too alluring. It's too addictive. People are going to go for it. You just know you can, because you can just absolutely dart into it, slam on the brakes, let the brakes lock up. Who cares? You'll get the track position, and they can't really go around you because you end up taking so much space when you hit that apex. So heaps of people are going to do that, but I reckon you're going to see some people try it inside of turn 2, outside of turn 5, and if they can pull it off on the outside of turn 5, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, awesome. I think a silent killer is going to be turn 11, because I've noticed this week during practice that if you're a bit too daring on it, or you take it just wrong, you tend to lose the back end around that corner. So I think everyone's going to be really, really focused on keeping it on the track on turn 4 especially, but I think turn 11 could definitely take some casualties.
Yeah, the other thing too is the Hungarian has had... Oh, sorry, no, I'm thinking of a different track, but the point still stands. The Hungarian has track limits that are very, very sensitive, especially when you're dealing with the inside and outsides of turn 4. It's a very delicate line that you have to take in order to make that work. Turn 11 as well. You can't go too far out as you come off the track. There's this little red bump barrier. That's it. If you go over that, the game is going to penalise you. So you have to modulate your speed. And the problem is those two. That's where you get your tenths. That's where you get your time. Is you just try and have to flat out those corners. But it is very difficult sometimes. Alright, so all of our drivers are in our session now. We should be able to switch over pretty much. Let's have a look. Switch over.
Quite a few guys putting on the hard tyre to start off with.
Yeah, most people will do that. This is a track that does not favour the soft tyre. The soft tyre tends to balloon quite rapidly, and you end up losing pretty much all of your tyre wear just like that. You lose so much grip. Oh, not grip, but it wears out the tyre way too quickly. You end up coming into the pits too early, and it throws your entire race strategy off. So it's very ridiculous. So they'll most people will start on the hard tyre, get in a couple of laps, see where the setups are at, see if there needs to be a little bit of adjustment, switch over to the medium tyre, and run their final stretch.
That sounds like the typical strategy you'd use around this ring.
Alright, so 19 drivers that we have here. That's awesome. So almost a full grid, not quite, but anyway. Alright, let's jump on board with Flyboy, who is the person who is leading the pack so far, coming around turn 12 now. So, who do you expect, Revo aside, who do you expect to set a fast lap, and what do you expect the times to be?
I would like to see... I'd like to see Seb up there. I'd like to see Seb sort of fast, and I'm going to say it should be somewhere around the low 115s.
Low 115s. Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that as Flyboy starts his flying lap. You can see he comes down through turn 2. Down through turn 3. Now you come up a slight little hill. Here's where it kick. You've got to hit this curve, shift down to 6, hold it inside that line, and there you go. Just a little bit outside on the edge, and that's an invalidated lap. So Flyboy's going to have to do that again. Let's see, who else can we switch to? It looks like Gus Rules, who's still flying through. Now he's currently on his flying lap. Seems to be a good one. He makes his way now through turn 10 into turn 11. Turn 11, another one of these. So he shifts down into 5th. And then again, you've got to be really, really careful with that outside tyre, because you don't get a lot of wiggle room for that. As Mick leaves the session, hopefully he'll be able to rejoin us soon. And down through the gears. Let's have a look at Gus Rules. Oh no, he spun it!
Oh!
Oh, but he manages to keep it off the wall. Don't revert. Oh, he's going to reverse over the line to get a time. Is that what's happening here? As Geordie sets the fastest lap there, 118.4. Tell you what,
That was unfortunate, but it's impressive that he managed to keep it off the wall then.
that is true. Yeah, I'm really happy he managed to keep it off the wall. I was expecting wings to fly, but no. Well done, Gus. Keeps it off and does a 133.7. Ladies and gentlemen, blistering pace from the prancing horse. We'll see if he can improve on that at all, as Nut comes across with a 118.2 very early there on the medium tyre. So a great job there from the Toro Rosso. Geordie came across the line there just before, 118.4 on the hard compound. T-Mac, he comes across the line with a 118.6, slots himself into 3rd so far. Smitty with a 118.8 on the soft compound. So he'll be looking to improve that by quite a bit. That's at least 2 seconds you can gain there. Let's see, Jacob Meister, 118.7. Greeny with a 119. As the rest of our drivers come through. Matt Zoid, 128. He's had a rough one there. 128.1 on the hard tyre. Jumping on with combined here as he finishes up his flying lap. Currently 103 as they approach the second last corner. What can the McLaren set? Hit the DRS section, he'll cross 118.3 on hard compound. That'll put him into 2nd. That's a good spot for the McLaren to sit. Hopefully his teammate will be able to provide something similar. Let's jump on board with him. No, he's got an invalidated lap so far. Unfortunate, he'll move out of the way, so Revo can get part. Oh no, that was Bandcamp there. Let's have a look. He's currently out of flying lap. So Bandcamp, who has had some pretty good pace in practice this week for Hungary. Let's see what he can do. Ooh, Lotus coming across the line, 117.0. He decides to qualify on the soft tyre, so that's going to give him an advantage over everyone who's looking for a longer lasting tyre strategy. He'll be able to start up there in 1st, but we'll see what everyone else does. A 117.988 from Bandcamp on the hard compound.
That's very well done for the hard compound.
That's really well done. So hopefully, he'll probably come out on mediums later on in the session. And if he's got that kind of pace on the hards, I can only imagine. Alright, so you wanted to see Seb set a fast time. Seb's currently on his outlap, so we'll just hang on while he gets around that final corner. Here we go. 11 minutes, 25 seconds left in our qualifying session as the Red Bull decides to go across. So his teammate currently sitting 12 for the 128.1. Let's see if Seb Verstappening can improve it all. So through all the gears.
Elf would probably knock about half a second off. Just because he's in the Red Bull.
So Gus was pulling over there as he shifts up through all the gears. And again, turn 4, the kicker. Let's see. Down into 6. Oh, very, very fine with those track limits. Currently sets the purple sector. So the Red Bull is flying down through to third. Uses a little bit of that inside curb. All it does is actually just put you straight as you exit out of it. So it's actually a good idea to use. You can't do that on the initial one, however, because that will trigger track limits. Holds 6th. Uses the revs there. Keeps the car moving forward and the momentum high. Down through the gears to third. Nice apex. Now we come into this, which is almost like a double apex. It depends how you shift down, but usually you want to kick it really tight in and then come out and in again. Here we go, using third. Hits it up to 4th. Now up through all the gears. Hits a DRS. It's looking pretty good. 117.565. So, and again on the hard compound. So that is a blistering time.
Very good time for the hard compound tyre. They'd probably be able to knock another, probably between half a second and maybe even a second on the medium off of that time.
Mm-hmm. So you can just see how fast these guys are pushing it, and it's great to see. And again, all on the hard tyre. It's early on. We've still got 9 minutes, 38 seconds left in this session. So yeah, once everybody starts to switch onto those mediums, I can only imagine. You were saying low 16s?
I was hoping for low 16s.
Yeah, that's we're gonna see that for sure. We're gonna see that for sure. Okay, so jumping on board now with Greeny, currently sitting 13th place, has set a time on the hard tyre 119.088. We'll see if he can improve at all with the mediums. I'm sure he will, but the question is by how much, and where will that land him in that leaderboard as we hit the 9-minute mark. So it comes around turn 2.
Revo's just left the pits. He's on his outlap.
It's unusual for Revo to leave his initial lap for this long, but I'm sure he's going to give us something special. Looks like Ferrari got a little bit out of place just a second ago, but it doesn't seem to affect him too much. As he moves his way through sector 2, we'll have a look at that lap timing, or sector timing, sorry, and see how much he is up by. Ooh, downshifting there to keep that corner. Fair enough. And he is up on his time by 0.8. That is quite a bit. We'll see what that translates to at the end. And hard on the brakes here. Moves into third. Riding the white line as you come around. No part of track wasted. How much speed can he carry through this? Upshift into DRS. The hot lap's exhausted. It's 117.852 on the medium. So currently sitting 5th.
Nicely done. Revo's about to start his first flying lap.
Alright. So how about you give us a rundown here as we watch?
Nice and fast down the straight, coming up to the first corner. Brakes very late apex. Oh, misses it, but still carries a lot of speed through. Sweeping left-hander, takes it very, very tight line. Dreaded turn 4, we'll see how he carries himself. Oh, it's a lot of speed through that corner.
251 kilometers an hour, for those who wanted to know.
Through the chicane. That second one's more of a mountain than a chicane. Oh, riding that line very fine. Oh, nearly losing the back end around turn 11. And we're in sector 3, coming around the last corner now. Keeping it nice and tight. And that is going to be a 1:16.3 on the hard tyre. That is very, very, very impressive.
Yeah, so in typical Revo fashion, he decides to show everybody up. But yes, 1:16.3 on that hard compound. So again, you can just imagine what he'll probably pull off when he comes to do his hot lap on the medium tyre. It's a little ridiculous how quick he... Hold on.
He just retired.
He just retired from the session? What is that about? All right.
Well, that was a bit different.
That's different. Okay, no worries. Well, it is what it is. I don't know why he's decided to do that. I don't. He has no penalties as far as I'm aware, but he has decided to finish up on that time. All right, we'll see how it pans out on board with Mikau in the Haas. Let's see. He already set a time 1:17.859 while he was on the hard compound. Let's see what kind of improvement we can see on the medium. So Mikau, one of the faster drivers in Tier 1, has had a little bit of a hit and miss on some of these races, but otherwise pretty consistent. Ooh, goes a little bit on that curb. Now here's the dreaded curb of death there. So pure concrete curb, any part of your tyre that touches that, that's it, your game is done. Get a little bit of wheel spin as it comes through there, managing to dodge. Yeah. Oh wow, that was inside the limit there. Okay.
That must have been right on the limits because he definitely had four wheels off the track then.
Alright, final turn. Where can the Haas align himself? $1:16.8. So that'll put him into third as Potsy comes across with a 1:16.79 and is currently sitting second.
Good time.
It's kind of bonkers that Revo's still in pole.
He blows my mind. The speeds he can pull out of he just comes out, does a lap, and then
I would have thought Mickey would be faster, especially on the medium compound, but I am wrong. All right.
Still got him by half a second.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. All right, so we are seeing Flyboy here, who invalidated his initial attempt, then decided to try again. Came round in a 1:17.6. Now he's on the medium shoes, so we'll see how much he can gain. Matt in the chat is probably just flexing on us. Yeah, you think? You think? It's like
I dare say your $50 is safe for the time being.
Well, I probably wouldn't be that stingy and I'd honour it, but I'd say, like, I mean, if you beat him and he's on a different compound tyre, like, is that a legitimate win? But I'm sure everybody would give me absolute crap if I didn't.
Oh, yeah, no one would let you forget that.
Man, in the if I was in Tier 1 right now, I'd qualify on softs to take pole. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's it. Hey, wouldn't you just absolutely sacrifice your tyre strategy for the race? Be like, nah, worth. Screw you, Reaver.
Hey, it's money. It's $50.
It is. That's right. Money's money. All right, so Flyboy coming around the Just at the end of Sector 2 now. Enters Sector 3. Around that second to last corner. I've been seeing purple show up on that map, but I don't know if it's accurate. Sometimes it does bug out, but we'll see. It's looking pretty fast though. 116.828 there knocks T-Mac down a peg, who came across with a 116.875. So Flyboy currently starting third.
It's a very impressive time.
We'll switch up one. Potsy, who's currently sitting second and is on those medium tyres. So we'll see if he can beat his 116.79 as we get a couple more laps coming in.
All the runners are out on track now to set the last lap.
Ali pointing out that 7th to 14th place are close as. Yeah, you're not wrong. 117.016. Then it goes 5/10ths. Then it goes, what's that? 5 hundredths between Lotus and Combined. Then Seb comes in with a 196, 338, 739, 759, 852, and then an 874. So as Seacoat used to say, so close you could throw a blanket over him.
Potsy getting a really good start.
So we've got a retirement now, Major Payne. He decides he's happy with his 117.8. And Flyboy retires as well. As the qualifying session comes to a close, so everyone that is out will be able to go around one last time. So as we watch, I'm going to keep an eye on my telemetry map. Let's see.
I dare say that would have invalidated Potsy.
So T-Mac has, yep, it has. So Potsy is done. So there's Greeny coming around now. I'll switch down to, where is he? There he is, Seb. He's currently on a flying lap. Let's have a look. So Potsy retires, T-Mac retires 116.8. Combined retires 117.06. So Revo still has pole, but Seb will come across with a 116.6. Oh, so Wahid has beaten him out by a 10th. Interesting. All right. Now Wahid is currently on a flying lap, so he might improve again. As Band is getting ready to cross. 117.001. Wahid's coming into the pits there. Mikau crosses the line, 116.76. He'll start fourth. And I cannot freaking believe it. Revo starting pole on hards.
That is, that's amazing. That is really amazing. But in saying that, at the start of a race, the hard compound does not have nearly as much traction as the medium or the soft. So he's going to have to have a very, very good start to maintain that first place coming in the first corner.
So, real talk, do you actually think that matters?
No,
I bet you he's done that because he's like, it'll be a challenge. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has. But anyway, power to you, man. If you've got it, flaunt it, yeah?
Oh, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so that's the session ended. Revo on pole, 116.377 on the hard compound. Wahid will start behind in the Mercedes, 116.5. Seb qualifying in third, 116.6. And Mikau will lock out that second row with a 116.7. Pretty good job from everyone. You have to admit, 117s. Matzoid had a bit of a rough one. Didn't quite get out there and improve. Gus Rules did, however. Went from a 133 down to the 18s, I believe, or the 17s. So hopefully we should have a pretty good race. Overtaking might be on the minimum, but some of these guys are pretty bonkers. So who knows? That'll probably go out the window, to be honest.
I do expect them to put each other under a lot of pressure, even when they can't overtake. It should be... we should see some close racing, especially in the midfield.
I am hoping so. I quite like this track, so if we can see some good racing on it, that'll just be an even bigger bonus. Ali, what happened to Matt? I'm not too sure exactly what happened to him. If I know Gus Rules ended up spinning, that's what caused his slow time. He tried to go back in reverse, ended up getting a 1:33. I don't know what happened to Matt. I believe that he probably went off and then just sort of salvaged the lap to put a time on the board, I guess. But I can't confirm that. I'm not 100% sure on that one. So, yeah. All right, now I don't have... Oh, damn. Okay, so from what I've been told, there should be heavy rain at the very end of the race.
Okay, that is going to keep it interesting.
Heavy rain at the end of the race. And all of a sudden, that might give credence to why Revo stayed on hards.
It actually would, because depending on how late the rain comes, if you take care of your tyres, you might be able to take the hards onto the intermediates. Or even the wets, depending on how wet it gets.
Imagine looking at the weather and being like, oh yeah, I'm going to make this tyre strat. And using your brain to make a proper tyre strat. But everyone just thinks that you're flexing. Like, he's probably sitting there going, heavy rain at the end. Okay, if I go hards, maybe I can switch to the mediums. Yeah, okay, that's a really good idea. Sets the fastest lap, and we're all just like, friggin' Revo. Thinks he's it's too easy on mediums, I'll just try on hards.
That's funny.
Maybe that's how Stephen Curry feels. Or Stephen Curry, I should say. PH. Alright, so 35 laps, of course, 50% race here in the Hungaroring. So 35 laps of absolute intense racing to go as everybody finishes up on their formation lap. I forgot the word formation for a second now. I don't know.
It is a big word.
I was like,
completely understandable.
Jesus. On their warm-up lap. That's what I'll go to if I ever forget. The potential is real. The potential is real, all right? God damn. Okay, so everybody has lined up on the grid. We're just waiting for those lights to start counting down so we can kick this off. As we have the 5 lights up and ready. Wait till they turn off so we can go. And there it is. And the camera is not participating with me, but either way, we'll make it work. Revo gets a pretty lightning start, but you can see that the cars behind him are getting a little bit better traction as they come into that first corner. And, 3 wide there from the Williams, the Renault band, and the Ferrari. Nobody's crashed into each other, however. So this is a pretty good start. Yeah, so Seb's put himself all the way up in a second now as Wahid gets put back. Oh, geez, have a look at this. All the way through the corner. God, that is a great camera angle there. So currently on board with T-Mac here in the middle of the grid. I'm trying to catch as best as I can. You can see the McLaren poke out. See if there was an option there, but there isn't. Oh, jeez, you're right. Look at that. It is a mountain. Oh, man! Combined goes a little bit on the too far on the inside there.
Managed to keep it on the track, though. Sort of.
That is the goal. All right, so the start of the Hungary race. And I'm really hesitant to say this, but no accidents so far.
You've just cursed someone.
Well, as I was thinking about saying it, the Alfa Romeo in the back decided to do his best Michael Jackson impression. Absolutely slid out stage right. But he brought it back. As Revo will set the fastest lap at the front. Now we can see all those interval times start kicking out. And T-Mac is the closest. Will he go for a dart? Oh, he goes on the outside here, but Bandcamp will defend the inside line. And nobody will make a move. Geordie does, however, make a move on Nut. He will take 14th.
everyone seems to be settling into a good rhythm. I'm actually amazed that we haven't had an incident so far. Last couple of races we've had safety cars pretty much straight away, or at least virtual safety cars.
But they were also no, that wasn't tier 1. That was the 2010 race, wasn't it?
2010.
Yeah, so that's always counted. Alright, so looking at this grid, the majority of people... Actually, no, it's a bit half and half. So we've got the top runners on the mediums, of course, because faster on qualifying. But then everyone from 12th onwards has the hard tyre, and then there's Lotus. Who's like, nah, soft tyre. So you will see him pit earlier than anyone, unless, of course, there is wing damage or anything that comes out of the blue like that. Let's jump back one position. You can see Combines creeping up on the Williams. Oh, is he off? No, Lotus keeps it. Here we go, the McLaren looking for a peak. But not quite. So DRS is enabled now, lap 3. However, it does not activate until the next go around, which is a bit of a shame, but as the detection zones work. So, Matsoid looking to make a move up on the Toro Rosso. We'll see if we can catch that. So you can see just how fast. Here we go, down into 6th. Oh, Lotus is out! Lotus has had an incident, and it's turn 4, and a safety car has been engaged. So that is an end of race retirement for the Mercedes driver, and that will cause a safety car to compress this grid.
That is really unfortunate. If anybody on the grid could use a safety car right now, it would be Lotus to get off those soft tyres.
Maybe that's his ultra big brain strat. Maybe he was like, fuck, crash, I go instantly to the pits. Okay, so lap 3 of 35, and a safety car has already been called. We knew that turn 4 was going to be a hot spot. It's one of those corners where if your downforce isn't set up right, or you think that your downstairs region is bigger than it actually is, you can go a little bit too fast, lose the back end, and punt it straight into the wall, which is exactly what happened to Lotus there. Oh, nut! Drive-through penalty. This is what I'm talking about. For everyone who is watching, who's always like, oh, why do you always talk about nut? I'll tell you why. Because this man has driving talent, but he does things like that. That's what I can't get about the dude. He's fast. He proves it. But then he's just like, I go speed through penalty. It's better on the safety car. Come on, man.
Consistency is everything.
One day he will win, and we will rejoice.
That would be a great day.
So earlier on,
blind drunk that day.
Yeah, so earlier on, Red Panda in the chat there said, what if we... Oh my god, how do you exceed track limits under the safety car? I'm going to make a giant Grosjean sticker. And I'm just going to start punting people with it every time I see faults under safety car.
It'd be good if you could put custom liveries on, and then say if you get a infringement under a safety car, the next race you just have Grosjean's face on the side of your car.
I don't know if anybody's ever seen the leggings that are Nicolas Cage's face. It's just Nicolas Cage's face repeatedly. It's just the whole car. It's just Romain Grosjean all over. Zudix. It happens all the time. Yes, it happens all the time. I know. It's ridiculous. Safety car, what for? Apollo.
Into the pit.
Lotus punted it into the wall coming out of turn 4. Actually, no, that's a better way to say it, Richard. Yeah, Lotus died. He's dead. The helicopter came, took him away, but this is the FIA, so, you know, we race. He can't be pronounced dead until he leaves the track. And the safety car is still out, so we will have yet another as Matsoid decides to come to the pit. Potsy as well. I didn't catch Potsy there, but Potsy comes into the pit as well.
Yeah, I wonder what the strategy is there. Maybe they plan on throwing on the hards and running it into the rain.
Well, let's have a look. Matsoid already on the hards. He decides to switch to the medium tyre because he probably knows that if the rain's going to come midway or towards the end, he might be able to push those and get some more pace. Potsy switched to the hard early, so they've done a swap there. So Matsoid onto the mediums, Potsy onto the hard compound. Let's jump up a couple of positions into the middle of the pack. With Bandcamp, you can see the cars weaving left and right. Because, of course, you want to keep temperature in those tyres. Otherwise, they basically don't work. As Botsy leaves the session. A little bit of a DC. Hopefully he can bring it back. So a slower start to the race than I thought. But sometimes it happens. That's what we get. So hopefully the safety car will come in this lap. Everyone is bunched up. And they're bunched up really nice. And you just know that turn one's going to be absolutely bonkers.
That's going to be a hectic restart.
It's going to be bonkers. I'll probably stay on board here with Bandcamp as we have confirmation from race control that the safety car is in this lap. So lap 6, and we will be able to restart. Now, of course, as the way this works, the leader is in charge of the restart of this grid. As the safety car pulls away, leader will determine when to pull the trigger, and it's reverb. So we'll see how he decides to do it. He's playing with them indeed. He's waiting for the apex, and that's the go button. Now everyone's going to make their way down to turn 1. Let's see who's going to have the ego, who's going to have the braveness to make a move. Everyone decides to make it tame. Thanks, guys. No worries. I just hype things up. That's all good. Zunix, credit to the clean start of this race, though. Yes, definitely. With a turn 1 that looks like that, okay, you would think someone's getting punted. But no, it was a very clean race. Unfortunate for Lotus, of course, but took turn 4 a little bit too gung-ho.
I was confident that someone was going to Daniel Kvyat it into the corner then at turn 1, but everyone behaved themselves very well.
The torpedo. Yeah, the camera work, the camera angles in this track are actually really good. And I really hope that with F1 2020, I actually have control over them, because someone introduced me to how the cameras work in iRacing and how the mods work for Assetto Corsa. If I could have them in F1, oh, you guys would love it. Just as much as I would, trust me.
No changes in grid order for that entire lap.
Well, everybody has stayed pretty similar.
Nuts in the pits.
Oh, as Bandcamp looks for a peak there, but decides otherwise. Oh, so Matt does come into the pits there, yeah. So 17th. So Jacob must have make a move, position there. Matt Zoid gets up into 14th. You can have a look here at T-Mac, who's looking to make a move on the Renault of Bandcamp. But decided to go against it. I told you, turn 2, man. If they're going to peak there. That's where they're going to peak. If there is one wildcard moment I would love to see in this race, someone overtakes turn 4.
Oh, that's ballsy.
Yeah, I've seen it. You see it in real life sometimes. I'd love to see it in this game, as Geordie picked up a penalty there.
First one for the race for him so far.
Just going to jump up a couple here with Mikau, who's rapidly gaining on the back of Wahid. Miko around the outside. Comes to the inside corner there. Let's have a look. He's be chasing down Flyboy now. He'll have DRS. Flyboy will not. Oh, sorry. DRS just got re-enabled. That's right. We had a safety car. I was wondering why the wings weren't opening. Okay, fair enough. Oh, it looks like Wahid's going to go off on his own as Pochi rejoins the game.
Wahid gets a stay of execution this lap. Shrimp's pretty close to combined.
Now have a look at this. Shrimp's looking to get combined, but Geordie, who is Shrimp's teammate, he wants to jump the gun. Shrimp currently in the last of the point scoring positions. Geordie wants to change that. Being very careful to stay off that white curb.
Silent assassin of this track.
That's it. It's the that's the Yu-Gi-Oh curb. Touch that, it sends you to the shadow realm.
There's no recovering from it either. If you touch that curb, you're done.
Yeah, it's that and turn 12 Bahrain.
Yeah, absolutely the same thing there.
All right, so Gus Rules made an overtake there on Bandcamp while we were watching.
I didn't even pick that up. Revo setting fastest laps on those hard tyres. Bandcamp is going for the overtake on Gus into turn 1. He has a look, but the side's better.
See how close T-Mac is. He's waiting for a prime moment. But you've really got to be careful because, again, you make an attack at the wrong part of the track and sometimes you won't come back from that.
Especially around this track.
Oh, here we go. Combined looking up on the inside. Decides to pull away.
Oh, Combined getting much better traction off of that chicane.
And T-Mac both on the medium tyre, both on the same amount of wear. We have a sector 2 yellow flag.
Oh, we have a car. Is that Nut?
Yep, Nut is coming slowly out of the... So, if I had to put money on it, he went to the Yu-Gi-Oh curb.
He might have. He's missing his front end plate, so I dare say he'd come in this lap.
Yeah, he got banned. He got banished to the Shadow Realm. So he'll have to fix that wing. Alright, so lap 10 of 35. 1/3, just under 1/3 of the race. Done and dusted. And so far, it's been pretty easy on the movements. Bandcamp still in 7th. T-Mac still close behind. Ooh, here we go. A little bit of a change there. Bandcamp goes wide. T-Mac can't quite make it work, so it all just goes back into line. Oh, look how beautiful that line looks.
Just shows you how good these guys really are.
Yeah.
Oh, the camera on that chicane is so good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When it just sits there and all the cars come through it.
It is very well done, and it's one of those things where if anybody ever asks you why, what's the appeal of Formula One? That. Show them a good camera angle with noise.
Oh.
And it's just it's like nothing else.
How can you not like that?
Alright, so Revo
I'm hoping
still
we see some action now.
setting fastest lap after fastest lap. Alright, so Combined is closer to T-Mac than T-Mac is to Bandcamp, but I don't think they've all got... Oh, here we go! Combined decides to look on the inside, and he collects the rear tyre. Now, T-Mac did get shocked a little bit left, so it's not going to affect him too bad. Combined still behind.
No damage either, he's lucky.
As Smitty makes a move on Matzoid in the back. So the Toro Rosso tells the Red Bull to step aside. That's interesting. Oh! Geordie! So Geordie makes a move on Shrimp, and Shrimp almost activating the curb.
What happened to Smitty there? He lost his line.
Yeah, he's been pushed down a couple.
He went off the track. I'm trying to see if he has damage or not.
Now, something really interesting to note here. We're lap 12. Oh, Combined getting a really bad exit out of that second to last corner. And I was just about to mention the tyre wear on the mediums. Let's see. Will Geordie be able to make a move here? You can see him using every single last bit of ERS. But Combined's probably doing the same. Looks for a peak. Doesn't quite take it. It's a very sharp line into that first turn. Still holds 10th.
So Smitty did pick up some damage. He lost quite a big chunk of his front wing.
Yep, and he also just picked up 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. So Richard in the
not
chat
having a
is
good
telling
race.
us the sky is getting more overcast. You are correct, sir. It is. What makes this a little difficult is I have a rain wallpaper. It's one of those animated ones. And it tricked me for a second there because I was like, oh man, it just turned on. But it's not. That's the wallpaper, not the game. So bear with me here. I never claimed I was smart.
I wonder if the guys on the mediums will have enough life on those tyres to push it until the rain starts. Guys on the hard should be fine.
Now I'm going to jump up just a couple of positions. Gus Rules is on the hard tyre here. Bandcamp on the medium. Bandcamp has managed to keep this gap consistently in the 3/10 zone. Gus Rules will not have DRS due to 4.3 seconds away. So Bandcamp's going to attack right up on the inside. He's got to be careful of lockups though. Oh, but he doesn't make the move. Okay, so he went for the inside line but then realised he couldn't pull up the car quick enough.
We had an incident at turn 1. I see some front wing on the track.
Oh, and Potsy's left the session again. All right, so we have had a bit of a change here. What's going on? Combines all the way down to 13th. And
Major
so is
pain.
Potsy.
He's taken it on the chin, I think. He's lost quite a big chunk of his front wing.
Okay. So someone decided to make a larger-than-life move, but it didn't quite pay out. Oh, Seb's internet on cue disconnects. Hopefully he'll be able to come back quickly, as will Potsy.
What's the AI set to in this if the internet
I
disconnects?
think it's 94. It was set to like 105, but the AI was starting to beat everyone else. So they were like, should probably fix that.
Yeah, fair enough. Because you'd ideally want them to sort of maintain the same lap times as what the real
Yeah,
driver was.
or slightly under because you don't want to have an unfair advantage to having your internet disconnected. So.
In saying that, I believe in the first AFR race I ever watched around Monaco, it happened to Revo. He disconnected, the AO took over, and he decided to pit him
Yes,
onto old tyres when he just pitted for fresh new tyres.
that's happened a couple of times actually. So it's one of those things where you can't. It's nothing we can do. It's what the AI decides to do, and that's how it is. Wahid picking up a 3-second time penalty there. And while we're talking, Matzoid pulled the trigger, made the inside overtake at turn 1. And that puts Shrimp behind him, so he's now in 9th as we have a sector 2-3 yellow flag. And it looks like Smitty is off the track. He's just rejoined.
He's lost his front wing again.
Man, Toro
That's
Rossos
really-
are having such a bad day. Such a bad day. So Matto now having to catch up. But what is this? Mikao! Oh my god! Up!
Oh!
Okay.
Oh,
So,
that's a flying Red
so,
Bull.
alright, so Seb's just disconnected again. The Red Bull is off the side of the track, and a VSC has been called. As Smitty picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I have no idea what we just watched there, but anyway.
Is it just me, or did that Red Bull actually have wings?
Yeah. No, it did. It did.
Branding on point.
Okay, so virtual safety car out. The Red Bull space program. That's it. That's the one. Yes. Red Bull space program brought to you by Honda. Power your dreams. So everyone having to keep it under that delta. Is the rain coming now? It is. Okay, so lap 15 and the rain has decided to rear its ugly head, and it isn't even halfway yet. This will bring about an interesting tyre change, or sorry, I should say tyre strategy for the rest of our drivers, because if it's already pouring like this, we're probably going to see some intense rain towards the end of this this race. DRS has been enabled, so the game doesn't think the rain matters. But you can see Mikau there got a little bit sideways as they came around this corner. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on some of these drivers, because
It's actually quite wet out there already. Yeah, it's really coming down.
Sector 1 yellow flag. Nut is, or was off the track, I should say. But he's managed to rejoin. And
Mikau staying
Smitty
out.
DNFs, yeah. Oh, Smitty DNF'd. I thought that was... Oh, my God. Okay. So it wasn't Nutt, it was Smitty. Right.
Okay.
So we have 2 drivers out now. Oh, Gus, whoa, what's happening? Whoa!
He's in the pits.
Jesus, Shrimp almost... I think Gus taking the I don't want to speed, so I'll just slow down to 0 approach to the pit lane. And Shrimp thought he was going to move. So lucky not to get hit there. Alright, so 2 drivers have decided to switch over to the intermediates. However, there are 5 in the pit lane, so we could be seeing some switches happening now. There it is, Geordie on the intermediates. Jacob hits the intermediates. I'm assuming combined will as well. And DRS has been disabled, so officially, it's wet.
I'm just looking at Revo and Mikhail up the top, and they are slipping and sliding all over the place. They're driving very slowly. I dare say they'll come in this lap.
Yeah, they're going to have to. You don't want to push too hard here. You don't want to risk it. But, so Revo coming around. Second last corner. I'm sure he'll pull into the pits now. Yep. That's him done, and I'm sure Mikhail will follow suit as Wahid takes a little bit of a scenic route. You can see how hard they have to slow down in order to not fly off the track.
They're on the brakes very, very early.
Let's jump down to the first of the intermediate runners, Gus Rules in 10th. So Revo is already coming out of the pit lane, well and truly ahead. This Bandcamp is trying his best not to slide out. Gus Rules will just move past. Bandcamp will come into the pits, chuck his intermediates on, and then he'll have a lot more challenging pace throughout the rest of this track. So having a look at some of these gaps. So Wahid, Flyboy, Matoy, T-Mac all in the pits. And they all start coming out now. Gus Rules will be right up alongside them. 3 seconds now the gap. So the rain has thrown a spanner in the works. Let's see who rises to the top now with the less than forgiving conditions. And if it does get heavier than this, if it does start to pour down rain, and people have to go on the wet tyre,
that is, that's definitely something that not a lot of guys have much experience on, because I don't know why, but for some reason it's just not something you really practice.
Mm. You can see how much these cars have to work to get through that chicane.
I'm going to make the call and say that we're going to see the wet tyres, just looking at the rate that this rain is still coming down.
Yeah, let's jump on board with Shrimp, and you can see that's pretty heavy. Constant rain on the camera lens, and you can see all of those droplets all over the front. So yeah, you're probably right. As this rain gets heavier and heavier, they're having trouble now. Shrimp having less than stellar traction around there, down to third, having to coast it round. And we still have, that's pretty much, we've just ticked over the halfway point now, so there's still half of the race to go under these conditions. It's going to be interesting to see how it all comes together.
Everyone driving much more carefully now.
So Revo's still in the lead with a 15-second gap between himself and Mikhail. And now all the gaps have completely exploded. Everyone outside that second mark. Shrimp, the only person maintaining it. However, he's dancing that fine line as well.
You can see the track spreading out now a lot.
Yeah, that is some serious rain.
It amazes me how confident Revo is, even in the rain. He is making a lot of headway on Mikau.
Yeah, I would assume that he's done a lot of wet practice. Is that for real? Combat? Did he legitimately just... Well, damn. Alright, that's sad to hear. Sterling Moss. Obviously a very famous race car driver, one of the greats. Looks like he passed away today.
That's unfortunate.
That's a shame. It is a shame. Oh, well, you got to go sometime, I guess. But maybe that's what's happening. It's the game's way of... The game just broke out in tears.
Paying respects.
Paying respects, yeah. As Revo still makes his way around this track, still putting time on that board. 17 seconds now to gap. It's a little bit... It's almost a little bit of a joke. 90 years old. Well, at least he had a good life. I mean, think about it. That guy's lived. That guy has lived.
Shrimp is looking like he's making some headway on Gus rules.
Yeah, he's using a lot shorter shifts to keep down the power. Hammers a break. Now I'm just going to jump back to Potty, who is also very, very close to the Williams. Jacob Meister in front. God, it is so wet. Look at that. They're going to have to come in for wet soon, I think. I think those intermediates are just not going to work very well.
You see Potty running wide there.
Shrimp is gaining on Gus Rules. The Works Ferrari possibly might get overtaken by the Alfa Romeo.
Gus goes very wide there. You see Shrimp just getting better traction out of every corner.
Mm-hmm. Potty might make a move here on Jacob Meister. No, seems to pull up. I know that it's dangerous, but I would love to see a race where DRS is enabled in the rain. Can you imagine the giant Super Soaker cannon that would come out of the back of that wing? It would be ridiculous.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you definitely see a couple of guys running wide in the braking zones after the DRS zones.
It'd be ridiculous. Oh, way too dangerous, obviously. A pipe dream.
Oh, Gus makes a big mistake as Shrimp takes him on the inside. Says thank you very much.
So Shrimp makes the move. Can Gus Rules make it back? But he's got to watch out because Matzoid is climbing up the ranks there. Down from 3 seconds to 1.9. We'll have a look here. Potty goes a little bit brave through the chicane section. Also having a little bit of lag. You can see the rubber banding kick in. So the two Williams, 9 and 10. Potty trying to get past them. Oh, he's got to be careful. Those curbs are slippery. Oh, he looks to make a move on the inside, though. Gets it done. Into 10th. Now Jacob Meister's looking to take it back. But no pace to be seen. So Potty now in the points.
Good move by Potty.
Matt in the chat Jesus, what happened to Seb? That's a good question, because I hadn't been paying attention till now, but Seb is in 12th place, so is Bandcamp. That's heavy. So late pit changes is what's done that. As Mikau picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Flyboy is also actually making some headway on Wahid in the front.
Yeah, I can see that timer coming down. Also, Matzoid, he's now come under that 1 second mark.
Gus Rules just not looking very confident in the wet at all.
So everyone from 4th down is at reasonable gaps, but from 1st to 2nd and 3rd, 17.3 and then 12.1. Oh, that's crazy. And now look, Potsy's looking to make a move on the second Williams. The Seb DC's one again. Oh, T-Mac way wide. Potsy will take that. 9th place, thank you.
Gets it done.
Actually, I won't switch yet, because are they going to have this? Right. Alright, now we keep an eye on Flyboy. Currently 4th place. He is encroaching on Wahid here. Brought that down from about a 1.5 seconds all the way to 7/10. Oh, so close to that curb. That's PTSD. Every time I see someone get an inch closer to that. In the rain, nonetheless. Man.
I'm not game enough to do it in the dry, let alone the rain.
As Revo overtakes Nut there on the main straight. So, officially lapped.
Had to happen at some point. His pace is just ridiculous.
It's a bit dumb. It's a bit dumb.
Mikau's managed to find his rhythm, and he's kept it at about that 17-18 seconds.
So lap 24 of 35 now, almost down to the last 10. And right now it's not a battle of track position, it's essentially a battle of survival. It's just trying to stay on the track. The rain doesn't seem to let up. However, nobody's come in for wet, so I guess maybe this is what we'll see.
Yeah, if you do go cockpit cam though, it is definitely still coming down in buckets.
You can see just how much water is coming off these tyres as they make their way around the track.
Everyone's sort of spacing out again, taking it nice and slow, being very careful.
A bit of a fun fact for you. At 300 kilometers an hour, the intermediate groove tyre can displace 85 litres of water a second.
That's a lot of liquid.
Yeah. So again, if DRS would just be enabled, I feel like the cars would get extra speed, not because of the air rushing through, but the water creating a jet. It just ends up like everybody just has a gurney attached to the back of their car.
That would actually look pretty awesome.
Any word from Jeff on weather? I don't have access to Jeff, so I don't know. All I was told was that heavy rain would be at the very end of race. if it gets too wet for inters, well, then they go on the wets, don't they? And then the whole race slows to a crawl. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Only guys remotely close are Matt Zoid and Jacob Meister.
Geordie is also slowly but surely making his way. You can see how much speed he carries. As Matzoid is trying to catch Gus Rules here. He dances around this 6th to 7/10 mark. And I mean, props to the grid because it's raining, but nobody's crashed. So it's... Oh, why do I talk? What? Why do I talk? All right.
Every time.
Every time I say... It's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's so stupid. And you can see now Geordie's like, excuse me, sir. I've got places to be. He decides to go up on the inside there. Matzoid probably won't make too much of... Oh, okay. A little bit of contact there. But no damage, so play on.
Good job by Geordie taking that wide line, really forcing Matzoid out of the corner.
Man, let's have a look at this. So, at this point, you know, watching the game. It's all good. Everybody driving, and then I go, oh, it's props to nobody crashing. And then immediately Matzoid's like, oh, was that my cue? No worries. Just pins it. Woo! Straight off the course.
Two Williams look to be having a bit of a battle for that last point.
Okay. Just knowing who those two drivers are, I'm going to switch to one of them. Because I feel as though Jacob Meister is going to make a move and it might actually go so horribly wrong.
Both of them tend to overcommit at times.
I'm going to read this just cause. So Matt Dabry, Revo is doing an excellent job. EGG. Excellent job at not crashing. It's really great to see such clean racing. As a dad, respect. As a spectator, why? Puns, Easter puns.
It's that time of year.
But points, mate, points. We're not keeping score, but points.
Like whose line it is anyway.
I love that show so much.
That's such a good show.
You have to be very, very special to be able to compete in that show. I always thought, like, I could do it. I could not do that.
Oh, dude, Ryan Stiles is just something else. How he can make those songs up on the fly is just phenomenal.
Alright, so some of these gaps are starting to close. Others opening up further. Jacob Meister is dancing the line. He's maintaining the speed behind his teammate. I have to admit, it's going to be decent results from these guys if they can finish it. T-Mac to get a point. Potsy is closing up on Matzoid now. Matzoid, of course, having a little bit of an off. I guess I have to take responsibility for that. Geordie is closing up on Gus Rules. It'd be great if he can make 2 overtakes. That'll put him up into 6th, which will mean Shrimp and Geordie might finish together. That'll be great points for the Alpha team.
As a member of the Alpha team, I do hope that happens.
Jump up a couple of positions here. As we see Potsy trying to do his best against the Red Bull in front of him. We still have another 7 laps to go.
Potsy getting very close to that Red Bull now.
Yeah, he's got to be really careful because it's tempting to try and get as close as possible, but you do not want to touch that curb. He avoids it well. His T-Mac picks up a 3-second time penalty, so looks like Jacob's going to take a free place as Seb disconnects yet again. Looks like the hamster running The wheel inside his modem is finally conked out. Oh, Jacob Meister picks up a 3-second time penalty. Never mind. They're still at it. Oh, Matzoid! It's a little bit wide there, but catches the car. And Potsy's definitely going to try and make a move here. The question is, when? He's doing really, really well. Oh, drifting from the Alpha! Woo! Geordie. He caught it. Luckily, there was a bit of runoff there. All right, here we go. Now there's a little bit of toe. Let's see. Potsy will move over to the right. And he'll brake on that inside line. And it should be fairly simple. As the Red Bull goes a little bit wide just to make sure there's no contact. And Potsy will move up into 8th position.
Very good driving from both Potsy and Matzoid, giving each other a fair amount of space.
It's a sobering thing to see when the rain comes and the drivers go from full attack mode to just, okay, let's see what we can, let's see if we can just stay on track. But even so, even with all this rain, moves are there to be made, and you're not really a racing driver unless you make those moves. So it's still good to see semblances of intense competition. Potsy stays now 8th. He'll be looking to try and minimise the gap between himself and Geordie. Geordie's still trying to make the overtake on Gus Rules, and just in the corner of my eye, I'm keeping an eye on that time between Flyboy and Wahid, because Flyboy has managed to make that all the way down to 3/10, but it just seems to keep extending, so he's having a little bit of trouble catching up. You'll see them, they're coming around the final corner now. If I switch up to Flyboy here, just as they come out of that exit, it just blows out, and then he can't seem to close it up again. But once they get into the technical parts of the track, he gets it down to about 0.4. So we'll see if he can get a better run, hopefully get himself up onto the podium. That'd be awesome. Great result there.
I wonder if he's running more downforce.
Possibly, and you have to think, like, how many people when they came in to switch to the Inters changed their front wing? Because not everybody does that. People don't think about that, but it makes a difference, because you can't go as fast as you'd like. But if you've got more downforce, you push more tread onto the track, so you carry more speed. Now have a look at this. Geordie throughout that the start of Sector 2. 0.3 the gap now.
Oh, he's making good headway there.
Now, Zudix points out in the chat, Revo is starting to come up on traffic. We'll be bringing up the rear combine any moment now. Now, hopefully nothing bad happens, and I believe ghosting is enabled now by Codemasters, so it shouldn't be a problem. Now, can Geordie put the foot down and get past his Ferrari? Don't think so, unless he just looks for a peek. Signs against it.
3-second penalty.
Hold on a minute. That entire time I was watching Geordie, Potsy decided, hey, don't forget that I'm here. And he's managed to bring it down to 0.2. This could be a three-way battle now.
It's definitely turned into a three-way battle.
Oh, no! Oh! Don't do it! Oh, my God, please!
Oh,
please.
That was close.
I've only got the one set of pants. Don't make me change. If he had done that, oh, what a sass.
That would have been very impressive if he got that move done.
He couldn't have. He was on the inside. That curb would have been like, this way, sir. Like, it's not... It's not happening. It's not happening. I applaud him for going, oh, maybe. Look at that, holding a drift there coming out of turn 11. Major Pain picks up another 3 second. Now it's going to be on. Now it's going to be who can carry more speed. Don't touch him. Oh,
Oh.
So close. We got a sector 1. Looks like Nut is off the track. Okay, now Geordie might be in some trouble here because Potsy seems to be able to carry more speed. That is a brilliant exit from the McLaren. Can he catch it? The speed might balance out. I don't know, but if he was willing to go turn 5, he might be willing to go now. Hard on the brakes as he goes on the inside, and it looks like he's done it. Oh, drifting now. The Alpha has the exit. Geordie's still keeping 7th. But the McLaren is still trying to fight. It goes for the switchback now. There's a bit of collision there, but no damage. They're still side by side. Oh, and he makes it work. Potsy now in 7th.
That was very impressive racing by both of those guys. Potsy did a fantastic job.
Okay.
Gus is in trouble now.
The McLaren, Potsy was just like, what rain? He's driving like normal. He just wants to climb up that rank. He's got 2 laps to try and make another move now. Gus will probably be in trouble because Potsy is carrying so much more speed. But he's got to be careful because through all of those moves, he did drift. He lost that back end. So if he goes just a little bit too hard, or as he's overtaking, there's a bit of contact on the rear of the car, he'll lose it. And all of that hard work could have been for nothing. Oh, and while we're talking, Flyboy's up there in 4th, looking to make a move on the outside. Wahid's defending that inside line. Potsy's now making a move on Gus Rules. Flyboy's still making a move on Wahid. He's going to try and catch the inside of turn 2. Oh, Wahid, he tries to keep the outside line. Flyboy's giving him some space. But I think in these next couple of laps, that racing point's going to be in 3rd place.
Those guys fighting up front has also given Shrimp a chance to catch up, so he is definitely going to enter this fray as well.
Oh man, if we start getting hectic battles at the end of this race, I don't know what I'm going to do. Flyboy is now maintaining that gap. Wahid really has to watch out. Oh.
Potsy, oh, I thought it was going to dive in up the inside of the chicane. That would have been very impressive.
Oh, how am I supposed to watch all of this?
That's too much.
Can I take your pants off now just in case? No! I refuse! They're either blown off or they're not taken off at all. Alright, so Flyboy now extends the gap a little bit. He'll have to try and catch up. So this is going to be hard for me to do.
Wide. Potsy takes it.
Potsy makes the move on Gus Rules just behind. Oh, Gus Rules gets overtaken by 2 drivers. It looks like he's heading off. He's on the inside there. T-Mac's now going to take that move. And Jacob Meister will be looking to make it as well. And he does. Gus Rules goes all the way down to 11.
That's so unfortunate. Gus just outbroke himself and went into the side of Potsy, and it looks like he's just slightly lost the car and he went off the track, and that gave everyone the chance to get past him. That's even taken him out of the points. That is just gut-wrenching.
I need 4 arms. I need 4 arms and 50 computers and multiple copies of this game so I can spectate everything. It's too hard.
We need some switches.
So Geordie is trying to get this position back.
Major Payne looking to make a move on Greeny in the final lap.
You can see how hard it is for these guys to drive around this course. It's ridiculous. So Revo has just triggered the last lap. Of course, Potsy and co will still go around one more time. And Wahid's managed to rocket away, I must say.
I think he must have made a mistake, which gave Flyboy the chance to catch up.
Oh, Shrimp, watch out, mate. Okay, so this is going to be the final lap for these guys. It's do or die, preferably the first. Anything
could happen. We've had 1 death already.
Wahid has just... I think Wahid was saving up his ERS for this. We have a Sector 2 yellow flag, and it looks like it's Major Payne.
Oh,
off the track.
no. He was getting very bold chasing Greeny. I've just overextended himself.
Alright, so the one to keep your eye on, there are two actually. Flyboy and Geordie. As Revo crosses the line and takes the win here in Hungary for round 12. Which is pretty much never in doubt. Oh, Geordie catches the slide. But that has extended now the gap. You can see a car off to the right, to the left of the chicane. That is Nut. This Potsy is a little bit of DC there. Shrimp is within that 1 second gap, or at least was. But I think this is going to be your grid. So Revo takes the win. Mikau comes across in second. And Wahid, with some excellent driving there, manages to hold off Flyboy. And he will take the third place on the podium. Just don't bin it at the end, man. And you've got it. He comes around that final corner. And he'll cross the line. And Wahid will take third. Wait, no penalties!
Oh,
no way!
Oh, gets knocked off the podium.
Oh no! Alright, so
Wahid.
Flyboy takes third place anyway. Oh, that's a shame. It was such a good drive.
That sucks. He did fantastic out there.
Oh man, that took a weird turn towards the end there. Everybody making moves, and I cannot believe Gus Rules dropped 4 places like that. That sucks.
From getting really good points to just getting absolutely nothing. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's oh man. But Flyboy on the podium, well deserved, sir.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Good drive.
Trying to make a lot of moves there. Almost successful, but then it got taken away. I have to admit, though, both Geordie and Potsy. Potsy, man, whew, what a kamikaze. That's nuts. Anyway, all right. So that is the race done. And Revo takes the win. Congratulations to you. Mikau second. Flyboy third. Wahid, that 3 seconds. Oh, just 3 seconds, but it was enough to punt him out of that third place. Shrimp in fifth. Great drive from him. He deserves that. Potsy, again, great drive from you, sir. Puts it into 6th and didn't get a penalty, which was awesome. Geordie in 7th. T-Mac in 8th. Matzoid in 9th. And Gus Rules holds on to that one singular point in 10th place.
I would just like to point out that Geordie actually did start way down the bottom
in 15th. He started in 15th, which is crazy. All right, so that is it from us, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know we have. Don't go anywhere. Tier 2 is just around the corner. That'll kick off at soon, pretty much. I think this went a bit longer than it should have, so it shouldn't take too much longer. All right, I've been Kunozero. This has been Serco. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I know we have. Catch you next time.
See you guys.